All right. Can I have Ms. Rodriguez Sarah at the podium, please?
Señora Rodríguez, por favor, Marileisis Rodríguez.
Good morning, Miss. What's your date of birth?
Buenos días. ¿Cuál es su fecha de nacimiento?
Buenos días. Enero 25 de 1986.
Good morning. The 25th of January of 1986.
This morning, Miss, I have 4 new charges. The first one is possession of a skimming device, and then there's 3 counts of possession of a credit card making device.
Esta mañana tengo 4 nuevos cargos en su contra. El primero es tenencia de un dispositivo skimmer y hay otros 3 cargos de un dispositivo para fabricar tarjetas de crédito.
There's probable cause for those charges.
Hay motivo fundado para esos cargos.
Yesterday we appointed the public defender for you. Would you like the public defender on these cases?
El día de ayer nombramos al defensor de oficio. ¿Usted desea que también lo represente el defensor de oficio en estos casos?
Sí.
Yes.
I'll appoint the public defender.
Nombro al defensor de oficio para representarla.
And State, do you guys have anything to add this morning? I heard all about this yesterday. So.
Well, just that they were asking, obviously they were concerned that she might try to flee, and I guess they were asking that the court do no bond. If the court is not inclined to do no bond, I would ask for a bond reasonable to ensure.
Well, what I did yesterday was ordered that the condition of bond was this particular young lady's a Cuban national that she turned in her passport, also ordered GPS, and then set bonds. I'm inclined to do the same thing on these.
El día de ayer yo le puse como condición, debido a que usted es cubana, que entregue el pasaporte y que se someta a monitoreo por GPS o situación por satélite. Y voy a volver a establecer esas condiciones para estos nuevos cargos.
Very good. So what I'll do on each of the cases is set a bond of $10,000 for a total of $40,000.
Entonces voy a imponer una fianza para cada uno de los cargos de $10,000 para un monto total de $40,000.
Also on these cases with the condition that before you bond out you'd have to turn in your passport.
Y en estos 4 casos tiene como condición que antes de salir bajo fianza tiene que entregar el pasaporte.
And that you would be subject to GPS monitoring at your expense.
Y usted estará sujeta al monitoreo por GPS o GPS a expensas suyas.
In these cases, we'll also be back on the 14th of November, which is where your other cases were coming back.
Y en estos casos volveremos a tener una comparecencia el 14 de noviembre y eso incluye los otros cargos por los cuales va a tener que regresar también ese día.
Very good. Thank you, ma'am.
Muy bien, gracias, señora.
¿Puedo preguntar algo?
May I ask something?
Yes, you may.
Sí.
Mi familia estuvo tratando de entrar en la casa para obtener el pasaporte y demás documentos que necesito para la fianza y la policía no los deja entrar. Yo necesito que pudieran entrar para que ellos puedan procesar la fianza y la fiancista.
My family was trying to get into the house in order to retrieve the passport and other documents in order to make the bond, but the police did not allow them to go in to get the things they needed. So they need to be able to get in to be able to make the bond.
They'll have to contact the sheriff's office about that.
Ellos se tienen que comunicar con el sheriff o el alguacil en cuanto a esto.
Ellos trataron de hacerlo, pero no le contestan el teléfono.
¿Pero no qué?
No le contestan el teléfono.
They tried to call, but they don't pick up the phone.
Okay. Well, it's my assumption that the home is a crime scene and will be for some time. So they'll just have to keep trying to contact the sheriff's office to find out when they can get in to collect the passport.
Bueno, tengo entendido que la casa es el lugar de los hechos de un delito y puede ser que se tarde un tiempo en lo que puedan tener acceso a esa casa. Y lo que pueden hacer es continuar comunicándose con el sheriff para determinar cuándo podrán entrar a recuperar esas cosas.
Y tengo otra pregunta. Yo tengo un perrito pequeño que está sin comer y sin tomar agua desde hace 3 días. Yo necesito, por favor, que si alguien pudiera entregárselo a mi familia, porque él va a morir sin tomar agua ni comer.
I have another question. I have a puppy that has been without food and water for the last 3 days. I would like someone to allow it to be turned over to my family. If not, it's going to die.
I can't. They won't leave the puppy at the house. If there's nobody that's going to take it, they're going to give it to animal services, and they'll take care of it. The county will take care of it.
Bueno, no van a dejar el perrito en la casa. Si no hay nadie que lo atienda allí, van a llevar a ese perrito al albergue del condado para animales y se lo llevarán allí si no hay nadie a quien entregar.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you.
And Mr. Cuevas Padron.
Señor Cuevas Padrón.
Good morning, sir. What's your date of birth?
Buenos días, señor. ¿Cuál es su fecha de nacimiento?
Febrero 10, 1984.
¿Febrero 10 de qué?
1984.
The 10th of February of 84.
And sir, this morning we also have those same 4 charges: possessing 1 count of possession of skimming device and 3 counts of possession of credit card making device.
Y señor, tenemos los mismos 4 cargos. Tiene un cargo de usar un dispositivo skimmer y 3 cargos más de fabricar tarjetas de crédito.
There's probable cause for those charges.
¿Hay motivo fundado para esos cargos?
Yesterday we appointed you the public defender. Would you like the public defender on these cases?
El día de ayer le nombramos el defensor de oficio. ¿Desea usted el defensor de oficio para estos casos también?
Sí.
Yes.
I'll appoint the public defender. We'll do the same thing as we did with the previous case. The bond will be $10,000 on each count.
Entonces nombro al defensor de oficio y voy a hacer lo mismo que hicimos en los últimos puntos de cargo. Serán $10,000 por cada punto de cargo.
With the condition that you turn in your passport and you're subject to GPS monitoring.
Y tiene como condición que entregue el pasaporte y que se someta a monitoreo de situación por satélite o GPS.
These cases will be back on the 14th of November.
Estos casos volverán a comparecer para el 14 de noviembre.
Along with your other cases.
Serán junto con los otros casos también.
Very good. Thank you, sir.
Gracias, señor.
Tengo una pregunta.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Adelante.
Sí, para la fianza me está diciendo que debo retornar el pasaporte, pero yo nunca he tenido pasaporte, nunca lo he sacado. O sea, no lo tengo.
As a condition of the bond, you say that I have to turn in my passport, but I don't have a passport. I've never had a passport.
Okay. Well, he can't. That's fine. If he has one, he has to turn it in.
Bueno, está bien. Si tiene uno, lo tiene que entregar.
Okay.
¿Bien?
Ok.
Thank you.
Okay. Gracias.
And
Guzmán.
Mr. Guzman.
Señor Guzmán.
Good morning, sir. What's your date of birth?
Buenos días, señor. ¿Cuál es su fecha de nacimiento?
Enero 25 del 1974.
The 25th of January of 74.
You have 2 charges this morning, sir: possession of cocaine and driving under the influence.
Usted tiene 2 cargos, señor. El de tenencia de cocaína y de conducir bajo efectos de alguna sustancia.
There's probable cause for those charges.
¿Hay motivo fundado para esos cargos?
As to those charges, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire a private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Con respecto a esos cargos, ¿se quiere representar usted mismo? ¿Quiere contratar un abogado particular? ¿O quiere contratar al defensor de oficio?
Por ahora me gustaría contratar o que el gobierno podría representar, pero lo más seguro en el futuro podría contratar un abogado.
For now, I would like someone in the government to represent me, but in the future, I would like to hire a private attorney.
I'll appoint the public defender.
Voy a nombrar al defensor de oficio.
And state what you
¿Podría
No problem.
permiso, podría añadirle una cosita más?
May I add something?
Sure.
¿Cómo no?
Ahora, También yo pienso que yo no tuve ningún tipo de culpa porque yo les negué a ellos por los cargos de cocaína. Yo no tenía cocaína.
Also, I believe I am not guilty of this because I had no cocaine.
Ellos desde el principio, lo que pasó, si usted me puede dejar explicar.
And what happened from the beginning, if you allow me to explain. Señor.
You shouldn't talk about the facts of the case this morning.
Usted no debería hablar de los hechos del caso esta mañana.
You'll have an opportunity very soon to talk to your lawyer about the case, and that's who you should talk to about the facts.
Usted tendrá dentro de muy poco la oportunidad de hablar con su abogado en cuanto a los hechos de su caso. Y debe esperar a hacer eso.
And Mr. Guzman, do you live on Shoalhaven Place in Ruskin?
Señor Guzmán,
Yes,
usted vive en Shoalhaven Place in Ruskin. Yes, sir.
I do work for the county at work.
Okay. I'll set your bond on the cocaine at $1,000, on the driving under the influence at $500 for a total of $1,500.
Le voy a poner una fianza por la tenencia de cocaína en $1,000 y de conducir bajo efectos de sustancias $500 para un monto total de $1,500.
You'll be back in court on November 14th.
Usted comparecerá de nuevo el 14 de noviembre.
It's very important that you contact the public defender's office before then.
Y es muy importante que usted se comunique con el defensor de oficio antes de eso.
Very good. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Muchas gracias.
Okay, muchas gracias.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kurt Hitzemann, County Court Judge here in Hernando County. You folks are here for your first appearance. The purpose of the first appearance is so that you may be informed of the charges against you. I will determine if there's a probable cause for those charges. Probable cause simply means that it's more likely than not that a crime has occurred, and more likely than not that you're the person who has committed the crime. Of course, as you stand before me this morning, you are presumed to be innocent. That presumption of innocence stays with you through every stage of the proceedings, unless and until the State Attorney's Office can prove the allegations against you beyond and to the exclusion of a reasonable doubt. This morning we'll set your conditions of pretrial release, that is your bail or your bond. In most cases, you've had a bond set already pursuant to the bond schedule here in the 5th Judicial Circuit, or the warrant which led to your arrest. I'll determine if that bond should be raised or lowered or left the same, or whether there'll be additional conditions of pretrial release placed upon you. We'll let you know when your next court date will be. If you'd like to have the services of the public defender, I'll gladly appoint the PD to represent you this morning. You do have a right to have contact with folks on the outside, family, friends, counsel. If you haven't had a chance to make that call, please let me know. We'll make sure that that happens. Finally, and most importantly, you're advised that you do have an absolute right to remain silent with regard to the facts which surround your arrest. I encourage you to do that. Pardon me. These proceedings are recorded. In addition, there is an assistant state attorney in the courtroom with me. If you say something that tends to incriminate you, they will use it against you in the prosecution down the road. I now need each and every one of you there at the jail to please raise your right hands and be sworn. Do you all solemnly swear affirm, tell truth, whole truth, none but the truth? Outstanding. When I call your name, you can step forward to the podium. Mr. Alls, you got somebody at the jail?
Yes, sir, Judge. I have a change of plea with Ezekiel Diaz.
Ezekiel Diaz?
He's not at first appearance, Judge. It's a change. We added it to the docket. The state has it. It's an agreed upon plea in absentia.
Okay. All right.
Now or after? That's up to you.
Okay, we can do it right now.
Okay.
What do you got?
Judge, there's 2 counts. He's going to plea to the count that had the $533 fine, because that's the amount of money we have. I have it here. Hold on.
And that includes cost of prosecution, $50.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yes. So our total payment will be $533. There's a disorderly intox and an affray. I think the disorderly intox is the $533 fine, Madam Clerk, and the state was going to merge and dismiss the other count.
Be afraid?
Yes, sir. I have the plea in absentia here. I have
17 MM 1846.
Judge, I have a check from him that is going into my trust account. I will have that paid before the end of the week or today, or I have them. I want to make sure it clears. I want no problems with the Florida Department.
Right.
Judge, and if you accept that, the state would be announcing a no information on the count 1
2.
affray.
Right.
Count
So-
one, whichever.
Is that
one.
what you have as count one, Madam Clerk? I have count two as a gray, count one is totally intact.
There you go.
Okay, thank you.
It would be a withhold. He has no prior criminal history, so we weren't a, PTI was not, we chose
Very
this
good.
route.
I have a fully executed plea and absentia waiver of rights form. I'm going to accept the plea and absentia, find it's freely and voluntarily made. This is case number 17MM1846. I'll withhold adjudication on Mr. Ezekiel Diaz. I will assess a fine and court cost of $533 that Mr. Alls will be
Yes, sir.
responsible for getting paid no later than, let's see, we'll give you till 4 o'clock on Monday the 23rd of October.
I'll do it well before then. Thank you,
Give it a
Judge.
chance to get cleared.
Gracias.
Very good.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Christina Grubb. Yes, no contest. Morning, Ms. Grubb. What's your date of birth?
4/11/69.
And you're here on a warrant that was signed by Judge Toner. He found probable cause for a violation of probation. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself? You want to hire private counsel? Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD. Bond on the warrant, of course, is no bond. I can't change that. I'll have you back to see Judge Toner on the 6th of November. They told you the 14th. We'll have you back on the 6th. PD will come see you before that, all right?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Kelsey Kozinski.
I have an offer, Judge.
Okay. Morning, Kelsey. What's your date of birth?
1/11/90.
Kelsey, you're here on a warrant that I signed. Apparently, you failed to appear in my court on 2 charges: possession of paraphernalia, and I assume possession of marijuana. And state you have an offer for this young lady.
Yes, Your Honor, it'd be 12 months of probation, fines and court costs, cost of prosecution, 20 hours community service, substance abuse evaluation and treatment is recommended and screens.
Okay. Withhold or adjudication?
2 seconds, Judge. Yeah, she does not have any let's see, Florida, just 1 second. She may have had something out of state, but it's not clear.
Okay.
We would agree to a withhold.
Okay. And count 2 is, can you confirm that's marijuana for me? On the warrant, it
I
says
have count
controlled
1 as
substance.
paraphernalia, count 2 is cannabis. Is that what the clerk has?
Well, the warrant says controlled substance on count 2. I assumed it was marijuana
Well,
because it's
what
here.
happened was, I think it came in as a felony and it got filed as a misdemeanor. I think
That's fine. I assume that's what it was.
I think it was Suboxone or something. But I guess there was also cannabis in some way, so
Right.
they added the.
Okay. All right, Kelsey, you can resolve this case this morning with withhold of adjudication on both counts and 12 months of probation. While you're on the probation, you would do 20 hours of community service, bite off at $10 an hour. You'd have a substance abuse evaluation. If that evaluation recommended treatment, you'd follow that treatment. And while you're on probation, you'd be subject to random urinalysis, which means you would not use any illegal or unprescribed substances. If you were able to complete those conditions, you could terminate the probation early. If that's something you'd like to do today, we can do that. If you would rather have a chance to speak to an attorney first, then we'll talk about setting you a bond and getting you an attorney. So you want to take some probation this morning and start getting this behind you, or would you like a chance to speak to a lawyer?
I'd like to speak to a lawyer.
Okay. You want the public defender?
No, I'm sorry. Can I take that back and do the shut up?
You want to take the probation? Okay. And already, Kelsey, I'm gonna go ahead and get you a lawyer, because when you hesitate like this, it makes it difficult for me to take the plea.
I'm sorry.
Because you have to be sure that you want to take the plea. If you have doubt,
I'm sure I want to. I didn't know I was going to have an option.
okay.
So confused me.
Okay. I'm gonna appoint the public defender. All right.
Okay.
All right. And then, Candace, you just told me there may be one hit out of state.
Yes, sir. It looked like possible some felony PTI stuff.
Okay.
Back in 2016, and it was also a cannabis
Right.
and drug charge. So that's one reason we were offering the treatment.
Right.
If she just wanted a straight jail offer,
I
we could do
think
that.
that's what she
But
wants.
I understand she doesn't want
Right.
to please.
Kelsey, I've got an address for you on Montano Avenue in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yeah. Yes.
How long have you been there?
Back and forth from there to New Jersey since 2011.
Okay. And are you working these days?
Yes, I'm self-employed currently.
What are you doing?
I'm a dog groomer.
Okay. All right. I'm going to set your bond at $1,000 on each count. The total is $2,000. I'm going to have you back in court on the 15th of November. They told you the 8th. It'll be the 15th. When you get out, you should contact the public defender's office right away, okay?
Okay. Thank you.
Valerie Stevens. Valerie, what's your date of birth?
10/12/52.
All right, Valerie, the charge is aggravated battery. There's probable cause for the charge. As to the charge, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Like a public defender.
I'll appoint the public defender. State.
Prior arrest for making false report to law enforcement in 2011, but it was dropped.
Okay. And Candace, you saw the other half of this altercation is here as well today.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Thomas. Okay. Valerie, I've got an address for you on Commercial Way. Is that where you live?
Yes.
How long have you lived there?
2 days. I was on my way to get away from my abuser and move to South Florida.
Okay. But you were with Mr. Thomas through yesterday, right?
Yes, when I said I was leaving, the violence escalated.
Okay. And do you have a job these days?
No, I'm on retirement.
Okay. All right. I'm going to set your bond at $500. Condition of the bond is that if you have any contact with Mr. Thomas, it would be peaceful contact. I'll have you back in court on the 14th of November. Make sure that you have contact with the public defender's office when you get out, all right?
Yes.
Thank you.
Judge, how much did you set that at? I'm sorry.
$500. And Dale Thomas?
Did you did, or will you, I would still ask that you, I know what she said, but I would still ask that you do the no contact.
How do we do no contact? You know, you guys know this is a problem, and for some reason we can't get it through to law enforcement that they're the ones that have to decide.
Yes, sir. I
Okay? And I think I know what the answer here is, but the officer who was there, who's experienced, by the way, didn't decide, and they really hamstring me when they do that, and it's frustrating. It's frustrating for you guys because it puts you in a bad spot.
Yes, sir.
And so we're all stuck here. You know, I'm not angry at you. I'm angry at this because we see this all the time, and I know you guys are training them, and I know you're telling them what I'm saying right now, and then still this happens.
Yes, sir.
And you know, and I don't know if anybody ever gets a hold of them and says, here's the fallout of your unwillingness to make a decision. But I think they should know it because this is one of those, and I don't have a legal reason to do what I want to do, so I have to do it by the book, and it's frustrating.
Yes, sir.
Obviously. Mr. Thomas, what's your date of birth?
7/11/57.
You're here on 2 charges, aggravated battery and false imprisonment. There's probable cause for those charges. As to those charges, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender, Your Honor.
Appoint the PD, state.
Showing a battery arrest in May of this year. I don't see the disposition. Going out of state, Chesterfield, or it's hard to tell which state. I apologize,
Right.
Judge. But there's a destruction of property, felony, given probation, assault and battery, DUI. There's also another state history. Force not a firearm, great bodily injury likely. I see inflict corporal injury spouse or cohabitant, and I see battery some type of spouse. Some charges were convictions and some were not. And then another state with DUIs, criminal trespass. That's it.
And, sir, you were on Commercial Way yesterday, and I assume also for 2 days. Is that right?
That is correct, Your Honor.
Okay, where were you before that?
I was in, Salvation Army at Stevens Point, Wisconsin.
Okay. And you have a job these days?
I'm retired.
Okay. I'm going to set your bond at $1,000 on each count for a total of $2,000, with the condition that if you have any contact with Miss Stevens, it'll be peaceful contact. That means if you so much as raised your voice at her, you'd be back in jail without bond. You'll also be back on the 14th of November. If you get out, you should contact the public defender right away. If you can't get out, they're going to come see you at the jail, all right?
Yes, sir, Your Honor. Your Honor, may I ask a question?
Sure can.
I have a K9. It's assigned to me PTSD, and I think he's in the animal shelter. I know that they'll take care of him. But if I can let Miss Stevens, if she wants to, take him under her wing there to, work something out. He's a highly trained K9, great dog.
Okay. Well, certainly, whatever arrangements you want to make, you can certainly make, and you'd be allowed to have contact with her to make those arrangements, obviously. But that'll be up to you going forward. There's nothing that I can do about the dog today, okay?
Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Marcellus Barrett. Want to tell us what's your date of birth?
6/6/81.
So the charge is driving on a suspended license. There's probable cause for the charge. As to the charge, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire a private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll point to PD. State.
Judge, here's a prior arrest for battery in 2008, another one in 2011. And then he has currently pending 17 CT 3679, which is also a driving with license suspended. That was a offense date of 10/5. This is the allegation of offense date on 10/16. Therefore, we would ask for an RCO on 17 CT 3679.
Probably hasn't even had arraignment yet.
That was set on 11/1. I think it was arraignment.
Okay. Okay. And that was 17 CT 3679?
Yes, sir.
Very good. All right. And Mr. Barrett, I have an address for you on Candler Avenue in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long you been there?
Less than a year.
You have a job these days?
Today is to be my second day.
Okay.
No, he's got a felony.
Yeah, this charge is a felony. All right, Mr. Barrett, here's what we're going to do. On this case, I'm going to set the bond at $1,000. This one's coming back on the 14th of November. Then, obviously, just earlier this month, you got stopped for driving on a suspended license. So you were on pretrial release on that case, which is 17 CT 3679. Job number one, when you have pending criminal charges, is don't pick up new charges. Especially don't pick up the exact same charge within 2 weeks of picking up the charge. Therefore, pursuant to Florida Statute 903.0471, I'm going to revoke your pretrial release in 17 CT 3679. So you're going to be on no bond until the 1st of November, which is when that case comes back to court. Mr. Barrett, there's no way out of this. There is no way out of this. Whatever your reasons for driving were, you had gotten arrested or stopped on the 6th of October. 10 days later, you're getting stopped again. Your driving record is terrible. You know that. You know you've been stopped. There is no way out of the no bond. There's nothing you can say that's going to change my mind. You're going to be on no bond until the 1st of November. Public defender is going to come see about both your cases at the jail to see if there's a way to get things worked out, all right?
All right.
Thank you. Thomas Beasley. Morning, Mr. Beasley. What's your date of birth?
9686.
Mr. Beasley, we have 3 counts of grand theft auto, count of possession of controlled substance, possession of marijuana, another grand theft auto, driving on a suspended license, fleeing or eluding, resisting without violence. There's probable cause for all those charges. As to those charges, you wish to represent yourself, you're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll point to PD, state what you tell.
2006 grand theft motor vehicle conviction. I see Marion County registration for prison. I see then in 2008 a violation of probation in Hernando and Marion. 2009 arrest for aggravated battery on person 65 or older dropped. Another arrest October 2009 battery. Arrest November 2009 grand theft auto. A probation violation for domestic battery criminal mischief out of Marion in 2009. Northwest Florida Reception Center on grand theft motor vehicles, so there would have been a conviction on that grand theft. A stalking arrest in 2010. Failure to appear Hernando March 2011. Resisting July 2011. February 2002 a petty theft. July 2013 resisting conviction. Was arrested for kidnapping, false imprisonment. The charge was dropped, but he was convicted of battery on a law enforcement officer. Battery by strangulation arrest in 2013, it was dropped. Battery in 2015, Hernando, that was a conviction. FTA in Hernando, July 2015, and a probation violation January 2016 in Hernando. That's it.
All right. And Thomas, I have an address for you on Grant Street in Brooksville. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you been there?
About 2 years.
Do you have a job these days?
No.
On the first 3 GTAs, I'll set the bond at $2,000 each, and on the 6 other arrests, I'll leave the bonds per the schedule, which is $2,000 on the controlled substance, $1,000 on the marijuana, $2,000 on the grand theft auto, $1,000 on the driving, $2,000 on the fleeing, and $1,000 on the resisting. That's a total of $15,000 all the way around. All these cases are coming back on the 14th of November. If you bond out, you should go see the public defender right away. If you can't bond out, they'll come see you at the jail before your court date, all right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Sure. Brandon Bodette. Morning, Brandon. What's your date of birth?
11/2/91.
Brandon, you're here on a warrant signed by Judge Merritt. He found probable cause for violation of probation. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll point to PD. Bond, of course, is no bond. I can't change that. I'll send you back to see Judge Merritt on the 14th of November. Public defender will come see you before then, all right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Christopher Buono. Morning, sir. What's your date of birth?
12/23/1980.
Christopher, you're here on a charge of driving on failing to appear on a driving on a suspended license. Apparently, you failed to appear in front of me back in February. State, is this
Yes,
something?
sir, ma'am.
Hang on a second. Is this something he could resolve today?
Judge, I think the recommendation for the underlying ASA was 10 months jail.
Oh, okay.
He had.
He has an atrocious driving record.
Yes, sir. He has 2 dwells in 07, 1 in 13, 1 in 14,
Yeah.
15.
Okay, I understand. Sometimes they're easier.
Yes, sir. I understand.
All right. And Christopher, you want to represent yourself? You want to hire private counsel? Would you like the public defender?
The public defender, sir. May I say something?
All right. If you're going to tell me why you failed to appear, that's probably okay.
Yeah, I've been incarcerated in the Citrus County Detention Facility since January 25th until October 15th.
Okay.
I was sentenced to 11/29 over there.
Okay.
Yeah. We issued the warrant and everything in February when I was supposed to be in court February 2nd.
Okay. That's probably good news for you. Tell you what,
You gonna give him credit?
I will,
Yes, sir.
but what I would do, what is today? Tuesday. I'm going to go ahead and send him to arraignment tomorrow so that you guys have a chance to look at it, and if so I don't have to count that credit right now. And if it works for you guys, and if it doesn't, you'll have a chance to make an argument. But that way we can figure it out. Christopher, I'm going to appoint you a public defender and set you for arraignment tomorrow. It may be that you have sufficient credit to take care of this, so we'll get you in front of Judge Rupi tomorrow. PD will have a chance to talk to you briefly to see if we can get it worked out tomorrow. All right?
All right, thank you.
All right, so I'll leave the bond at $2,000. I will move the case for arraignment to the 18th of October, and the PD will talk to you about this, see if we can get it worked out. Okay?
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Joseph DiStefano. Want to, sir, what's your date of birth?
12/22/87.
Joe, you're here on a warrant that I signed upon probable cause for a violation of probation. The folks at probation have recommended 30 days. If you want to take that this morning, Joe, you can do that. If you don't want to take it, then I can appoint you a lawyer and you can talk to the lawyer. I will tell you that if you ask for a lawyer, by the time you get back to court, you will have done more than a 30-day sentence. But if that's up to you. So if you want to talk to a lawyer, you can do that. If you want to just take the 30 this morning, you can do that.
There's no other way to do anything else?
Well, that's all I can do today. I mean, I can't make any promises. It's possible that the public defender would get out there to see you before the court date, and if there was a resolution that was less than 30 days, they could get you in front of me sooner, but I can't make you any promises like that, and that's why I tell you. So if you take the 30, and you've got credit now for 2, if you behave yourself in the jail, you do 25, which means you'd have 23 left. Today is the 16th. That means November 6th, or thereabouts. If they can't get you in early and they can't get you anything better, then you wouldn't be back in court until November 15th. So that's the risk you take. I don't know if they can get you something better. I just want you to know what you're looking at going forward, all right?
The reason why I was asking, Your Honor, was because I don't know if you remember back at our court date, but I had Pasco County send you a letter from I guess she's like one of either the highest clerk or something like that. I don't know who she was, but she sent you an email stating that it was their fault that they hadn't charged me $7 for my probation that I paid, and I paid for my license to be fixed. And because they didn't put the $7, that's the whole reason why I'm standing in front of you here today, sir, is because...
Now, you're standing there because you didn't report to probation when you said you would. Okay, I get what you're saying. Your license should have been suspended, and I understand that. Those things can happen. But what happened is I sentenced you and told you to report to probation. You met with the probation officer. They gave you an appointment, and you never went. That's why you're standing here. And just to add salt to the wound, I guess, I signed this warrant in December of 2015, which means you've been in the wind for a year and a half and not tried to do anything to clear this up. So if you're thinking that somehow you're going to string some words together and get some sympathy from me, you are sadly mistaken, young man, because you had a year and a half to take care of this. Any one of those days, literally, you could have walked into my courtroom and said, Judge, I made a mistake, I've got a VOP outstanding, and we'd have figured it out. A year and a half you've been in the wind. So I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to hear about everybody else's fault but mine. This is your fault. You didn't report. You had a warrant outstanding for a year and a half. You never tried to take care of it. So what I want to know is, yes or no, I'll take the 30 days.
Yeah.
You understand, by entering an admission to a violation of probation, you give up the right to have a trial to the court, the right to confront the witnesses against you, and the right to have a lawyer. But you're willing to give up those rights so we can resolve this case today?
Yes or no?
Yep. Yes.
Very good. Case number 15 CT 2038. Do you admit that you violated your probation? Yes or no?
I apologize. I didn't know.
Yes or no?
What did you say,
Do you admit that you violated your probation?
Do I admit it?
Yes.
Yes.
I'll accept the admission, find is freely and voluntarily made, revoke and terminate the probation unsuccessfully, adjudicate you guilty of the underlying charge, sentence you to 30 days in the county jail, credit 2 days served, $50 cost of prosecution, cost of incarceration, that takes care of it. You just need to finish the time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Travis Gonzalez. Well, Mr. Gonzalez, what's your date of birth?
5288.
Mr. Gonzalez, you are here on a writ of bodily attachment. That means that a child support hearing officer and a circuit court judge determined that you owe some child support. They set a cash purge of $660. Do you have $660, Travis?
No.
Are you working these days?
I've been incarcerated for the last 7.5 months.
You have. And you've been right here in our jail for 7.5 months?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What's your EOS?
I was supposed to get out yesterday.
Oh. Okay. Hang on. All right, Travis, I will find that you're not in contempt for your failure to pay child support. You're going to be released today. But since you no longer are going to be held at the jail, as soon as possible, you need to get yourself to the Child Support Enforcement Office. You need to talk to them about getting back on schedule with your child support. If you don't do that, very soon they'll restart this process and you'll wind up getting arrested again, all right?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Good luck.
Thank you.
Darren Heyman. Morning, sir. What's your date of birth?
10/30/1987.
Darren, you're here on a warrant out of Pasco County. It's a warrant for failing to appear on a battery, I think. The judge that set the bond on this warrant set a bond of $10,013. I can't change that. If you can post that bond, you can get out of jail here. Go down to Pasco, find out when they want you in court. If you lack the ability to post that bond, we'll let Pasco know immediately. I'll give them 5 days to come get you. It does not take 5 days with Pasco, but if for some strange reason you are still here in 5 days, they'll bring you back to see me and I'll find out what the holdup is, all right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Zane Lott.
Yes, sir.
Morning, Mr. Lott. What's your date of birth?
11072.
All right, Zane, we have 2 warrants today. The first I signed. I found probable cause for a battery. On the second warrant, apparently you failed to appear in front of Judge Merritt on a felony battery. As to those charges, then, there is probable cause. You want to represent yourself? You want to have private counsel, or would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender's fine.
All right. And I think this is the only 2. Yep. Okay. And I guess, State, give me some history so I can set a bond on the new case.
Yes, sir.
I was under the understanding that those charges were all dropped.
Yeah, well, no judge or lawyer told you that, and whoever told you that is probably somebody you weren't supposed to be talking to, so hang on.
I'm going to start, since I flipped there, the out-of-state history back in the 90s, stolen vehicle, drugs, FTAs. Going to more recent in Florida, there was that battery arrest in June of 2017. There was a false report allegation in August of 2013. He pled to burglary, possession of burglary tools, and petty theft here in Fernando in 2011. It looks like cannabis. There was some kind of out-of-state fugitive warrant in 2011. Maybe some of those charges are related to you. Paraphernalia and cocaine, 2011, Hernando. He was arrested for battery in 2009, assault in 2000, a grand theft conviction, drugs, paraphernalia and cannabis, and burg structure out of Tampa in 98. There was a criminal registration, I believe, for that. No, excuse me, I think he did counting. And then cannabis and burglary in 98 out of Tampa.
Okay. All right. So on the warrant case where the FTA with Judge Merritt, he set your bond at no bond. I can't change that. I will add a condition in that case that you will not call or write the alleged victim from the jail. In the new case, I'll set the bond at $5,000, also with the condition that you won't call or write from the jail. Both of those cases will come back on the 14th of November, and the public defender is going to come see you before then, okay?
All right.
Thank you. Timothy Nichols. Morning, Timothy. What's your date of birth?
September 13th, 2000.
Judge, can I ask one quick question?
Sure.
On the case 17 CF 1988, which was a DV battery, you did the 5,000. Mm-hmm. And then on the 17 CF 1266 FTA, you set up
no bond.
Okay, you left it at no bond.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. All right. And Tim, you're here on a warrant signed by Judge Merritt Sr. He found probable cause for one count of robbery using a weapon. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself, you want to hire private counsel, would you like the public defender?
I'd like public defender.
I'll point to PD, State.
Judge, do you have a copy of the allegations?
All I have is the cases. I would like to see
I copied it for you.
Yeah.
Judge, just to let you know, in juvenile court, what had happened is it slowly began as a burglary, breaking into a structure, then they were residing in the house with his co-defendant, and then it escalated to this armed robbery. I'm asking that you maintain the bond. He was not staying home at that point. He was on the run. It's my understanding he was using, and so we'd ask that we think that's appropriate.
Okay. And Tim, I had an address for you on Young Avenue in Clearwater. Have you been living there?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. And you have a job? You in school?
No.
Okay. I'll leave the bond at the $20,000. I'll have you back in court on the 14th of November. If you get out, you should go see the public defender right away. Otherwise, they'll come see you at the jail, all right?
Judge, can I be heard on the court date?
Yes.
We filed the charges. I think it's going to go with the co-defendant, Judge Mayer, on 10/31, if that's okay.
I can. We'll move you up to October 31st, all right, Tim?
All right.
Thank you. Very good. Do you need this back, Cass?
I can take it. I just want to make sure you have it.
Yep. I never get them. You know, any of us. Stanley Schultz. Morning, Mr. Schultz. What's your date of birth?
5/16/51.
All right. Stanley, you're here on a warrant signed by Judge Toner. Apparently, you failed to appear in his court on a charge of burglary of a dwelling. As to that charge, did you have a lawyer, Stanley?
No, sir.
Would you like the public defender?
Yes, sir.
I'll appoint the public defender. Yes, sir?
Your Honor.
Yes, sir?
I was told that I would be notified as to when my court date was, and I never got said notification.
Okay. Well, you'll have to have that discussion with your lawyer right now. All I can do is tell you that I have this warrant signed by a circuit court judge. He set your bond at $15,000, so I can't change that. I'm going to change the date to the 6th of November. They told you the 14th. I'll have you back on the 6th. if you can bond out, you should get right to the public defender's office so you can talk about what's going on here. If you can't bond out, Stanley, they're going to come see you at the jail before your court date, all right? Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep. Thanks, folks.
Thank you.